Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Apprentice season number 3. We're at the last days of this wonderful tournament we've had for the past month. We're at the 3rd edition. Pretty proud of how everything has worked out during all these months. We're doing this competition. Hopefully, we will keep on doing this for quite a while. But anyway, we are at the last few matches. This is one of them for sure. First, semifinals for Code A playoffs. So, players that got 4th and 5th in both the groups are gonna face each other in this Code A playoffs for a small sum of the final prize pool. Of course, the big numbers will go in favor of the Code S finalists. We're gonna cast in a little bit as well. Today, though, we have one of the, I'd say, most unexpected matches here in Code A playoffs. We're gonna have, guys, Killer Cheese versus Justice Simon. And, well, what to say about this match? Killer Cheese and Justice Simon probably were two of the favorites in winning the whole tournament in the Code A's playoffs. After some unfortunate games, unfortunate situations as well, they found each other here in Code A playoffs. So unlucky for them, but not unlucky enough. Probably the most unlucky thing is that after getting into Code A playoffs, and honestly, both those players are supposed to win easily the Code A playoffs. They are instead going to face each other in a game that is supposed to be a little bit of a bloodbath. Let's see what is going to happen over here. Just gonna check the order of the replays. Oh my god. The order is pretty messed up. I hate you guys for doing this to me. I don't know the order of the replays. This is... I have to see the details, I think. Is that like... date? Yes, but not an hour. So yeah. I'm going to just... improvise, I guess. Hopefully we got the replays in the right order, because I have no... everything could happen due to the number of replays I have. Little spoiler. And guys, well, what else to say? Let's get ready. Let's jump onto the first game for today. Let's go on to Ephemeron for the game number 1 of this Code A semifinals. Oh, wait. Yeah. Work. Why you not working? Oh, thank you very much. Here we are, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ephemeron. It's a red, this time Zerg player. It is Killer Cheese. Spawning instead in the bottom right hand corner, the blue Protoss, and from China it is Justice Simon. Well, I have to say, Killer Cheese is very honest with his cheese. He likes to tell his opponent his race, and if the opponent complains, he's just gonna tell him he's cheesing. Like his name kinda implies, I guess. But anyway, here we are, 12 pool, 6 links are soon to go through the map. Justice Simon just realized the mess as he has got himself into. Back home, gonna place another gateway even before the cybernetics go. Soon to be a cyber core, of course, and an Nexus can probably wait a little bit longer. The volume is way too high right now. And the Nexus can wait a little longer before Justice Simon actually has the need to add this to his natural. Of course, he's gonna make a Zealot chrono boosted, a Zealot actually sending 4 probes preemptively here, while this little Link is chasing down a probe. I guess it's slightly too much. I'm not too sure. There is no way those Links can get inside, that's for sure. And of course, they didn't play the game with Kmart. I'm going to say so many things to these guys after the game. Well, the probe is still there, finally. Hiroshi manages to get that probe. Of course, those Links are just gonna waddle back home. There is nothing they can do over here, and the Nexus is short to come in the natural of Justice Simon. Hiroshi is meanwhile trying to restabilize his game. Of course, that's not the biggest of commitments. I even go as far as saying that Justice Simon actually did commit more into defense than Hiroshi was committed into his early. I call it a scouting pool. I don't even call it a cheese. Like Hiroshi is getting a third base, while Justice Simon is just halfway through his second Nexus. Like, he's all over the place right now. Twilight Council being dropped by the Protoss player, who definitely wants to keep his opponent in check once the game gets into the later stages. Of course, 3 Adepts gonna be quite a nuisance over here in the natural. How many drones did die? Just the 1. But of course, these many Links and this Queen are gonna be enough to hold this Adept pressure. Adepts not shading into the main. Still gonna get some quite important scouting information. Seeing there is no lair, seeing the amount of Links, and seeing their speed is actually not done yet for Hiroshi. As their player is still gonna walk through the map with a bunch of Zerglings. Not too sure what for. Resonating Glaze on the way for Hiroshi, who's also adding Robotics Facility. These days, this kind of adept timing attack are kinda the nightmare of all the Zergs, really. We've seen actually Serral die 3 times to an adept timing attack against Zest. Hiroshi taking his precautions, adding up a Roach Warren to his structure roster. And probably a lot of Roaches will be in production right now. Of course, there is a lair to help him transition once the first timing attack is done through. Hiroshi's gonna lose his scouting overload for good reasons. He now has absolute total confirmation this is coming. I think you saw these many Adepts earlier, but he knows his opponent is pretty much overmaking Adepts. Now he knows for sure Adepts shading through the map. A lot of Roaches are in production back home for Hiroshi. Those Links cannot do much. They're still a pretty dangerous threat right now to Justice Simon, who doesn't want to overextend, not without a Warp Prism at least. But it seems that overall, the information that Hiroshi is getting from all this is way more important than any movement that Justice Simon could possibly be doing. And actually Hiroshi is walking through the map aggressively, getting on top of those Adepts. He knows there's no Warp Prism yet, and he wants to get into the action. Those Links trying to get us around to help the Roaches give the most damage possible to those Adepts. A lot of Links have gone down, but so does 1 Adept. There are 4 sentries, enough to keep those Roaches out of the battle for a while. But over here, Hiroshi really doesn't want his opponent to expand, but the Adepts come into the fight. There is 1 Adept to help with the micro. Hiroshi has brought a lot of Roaches, and he's keep on sending units through the map relentlessly. These days will never go up. Cancel issued by Justice Simon. But right now, the supply of Hiroshi is vastly superior to the one of Justice Simon, and that supply is basically all army. Girachi is trying to break through to this gateway. There are only adepts against a bunch of roaches. Adepts don't deal that great against roaches. There's finally one immortal. Force fields are very good, but not good enough. They only keep those roaches at bay. They won't trap any between this big wall. Now the roaches can attack again. This gateway, very bold positioning for Justice Simon. This one will just go down immediately if Girachi decides to commit. But the red Zerg player is kind of indecisive about the next move. There is a lot of Protoss over here, but there will be way more if he doesn't go for the offense right now. The Immortal gets finally leapfrog forward. He gets a little bit of damage, but the Warp Prism will keep it safe. And I think that at this stage, it's a little bit too late for Girachi to get the damage he wants to get. 4 more Adepts being warped in. The wall is up. Lots of force fields in those sentries. Energy. 1 Warp Prism, 1 Immortal, actually 2 Immortals. And now Girachi is back into this kind of contain. He's waiting for the key units back home. He's waiting for those mutas to be up and go and deal the damage. He wants to deal this one with Immortal is in real danger. Girachi manages to kill 1 Immortal. Justice Simon doesn't manage to save it. There are force fields everywhere. Lots of units trapped. Not all of the units of Girachi were attacking them once, but a lot of key units have gone down for Justice Simon. 2 Sentries and 1 Immortal have died in this fight. It's time for Girachi to go for the counter-attack. Mutas are coming through the flank. Girachi fighting the front, but this is not the real battle. Here counts the cavalry, and Girachi gets on top of the probe. GG gets gold. Masterfully clever play by Girachi. And Justice Simon is 1 point behind in this best of 5 semifinals. Great play by Girachi, being, I'd say, not overly cautious with his roaches and just doing the amount of damage he could have possibly done, and waiting for the right time to strike with his very clever play. Actually, sneaking those mutas, change that tech, having that early lair of course surely helped, but Justice Simon a little bit too pinned into his own walls for too long, didn't quite manage to keep his opponent on check and do any kind of damage. It's time to get on game number 2. It's gonna be Eternal Empire. Let's see if Justice Simon ties the score, or if it's going to be Girachi who's gonna instead increase his advantage. Here we are, spawning in the top right hand corner is the red Terran random player Girachi. And in the bottom left hand corner instead we have the blue Protoss. Living from China, young and strong, it is Justice Simon. One of our own academy players, actually, in Alpha X. Great potential with this guy. So, matchup shifted completely. And I must say, I'm quite happy of it. Protoss versus Terran, by far my favorite matchup right now. At least to cast, of course. Like, probably even to play, to be honest. But my random is not that good. Not as good as this guy's random. Masterfully played the Zerg race. Let's see how he behaves with the Terran race instead. Justice Simon going for the usual scout. Maybe try to delay the Rex a little bit. Not even bothering. Going straight to the main. Not gonna find anything off. This little probe just chilling over there. It's gonna place a Nexus over here instead, without any immediate threat to be afraid of. Reaper is incoming instead. We'll get a cheese. Once again, in this matchup, both players can go a wide variety of build orders after a certain point. Oh, this probe is going down. It is going down. Predator drone, look at this guy go. Getting a kill and then getting on the job. My god. What a hero. Reaper going through the map in the meanwhile. The Reaper Cliff of Eternal Empire, it's basically impossible to be walled off. It's just too big. The Reaper will get his scouting information without too much of a hassle. The Adept is out to try and deny this scouting. The Reaper won't even bother, just escaping easily after seeing the one Adept, and then get confirmation afterwards. Oh, getting this probe is actually pretty unfortunate. He's still gonna see the Twilight Council being dropped by Justice Simon, but the Protoss player could have hidden something behind his base, could have like faked another building, another structure before going for his real intention. I guess that Twilight Council is just that important. Also because it's fairly a fast building. Like, the Twilight Council doesn't take a lot of time to complete. So having that a little bit earlier, I guess it's better than just gambling the Reaper not coming for another scout back again. And the choice has paid off for Justice Simon. That is now starting his Blink upgrade and is going into his standard play right now. The Adept, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, getting his own scouting information, seeing a Widowmine already. Pretty important scouting information. Those Marines look sick with that star on their shoulders. The Adept will get away pretty much unscathed. But the most important thing of all, once again, is information. And seeing those Widowmines being produced by the factory is a pretty huge deal for Justice Simon, who can now get a Medivac out, get those Widowmines into the Medivac, and fly through the map. That's what he's doing, guys. Heading for the mineral lines, but Justice Simon knows, and he's going to prepare for this. He's going to have his reaction timing set at dealing with this. The probe over here, checking for when the Medivac will actually arrive and hit over here. Oh, no probe, no probe, no, unlucky probe. Not gonna see the Medivac. Oh, will it though? It sees the Medivac just barely. The Pylon will scout it forward as well. There is nothing going on over here, just reaction time is up to Justice Simon, and he has a very good one. Only one actually missed. Yeah, only one. 2 probes will go down with 3 shots of a Medivac, of a Widowmine. And this Medivac is in serious trouble right now. Of course, those Stalkers cannot blink over here. Blink was almost done. Not yet done. But Killer Cheese got some more scouting information. He confirmed this is indeed Blink Stalkers. And he confirmed there's probably a fur base on the way. I'm not sure if he actually knows. Yeah, he doesn't know. But he kinda knows. Like, let's be honest. He probably knows, right? Justice Simon getting charged now. Probably getting ready to head out with his own Stalkers and get some little bits of damage. A little bit too scared of that Medivac coming in again. It looks like Either Cheese is just standardizing his play right now, adding up 3 more racks and just keep on producing tanks, marines, and getting the upgrades he needs. Plus 1 infantry weapons, Stimpack, and everything he needs. Meanwhile, Justice Simon, that's a lot of gateways. When you make that many gateways, you're up to something like at least 70% of the times. Like, you don't make that many gateways for no reason. Of course, he has to keep up with his economy, so an explosion of gateways was incoming, but he has not added any Robo Bay. He just has a robotics facility, and probably if he wanted to delve into like storm tech or robotics bay tech, he would probably have already done it. He's just either he's just playing a little bit overly safe, either he's just trying to ramp up the numbers before putting up the big guns and the units he needs to close the game. Of course, once again, it looks like the decision of the blue Protoss player is paying off, because everything he needs right now are units. It doesn't need tech very much. Of course, having a Colossus over here would have been very useful. But look at SCVs, Marines, and tanks going. The army of Guitar Cheese is everything he has, while the army of Justice Simon is not as strong. A lot of roads going down in a blink of an eye. And right now, Justice Simon has to prepare the perfect engagement. Those tanks are not sieged. They do not deal remotely as much damage as those other units could deal right now. But a bunch of Marines and Marauders there is for Guitar Cheese are just a little bit too much. Tanks are sieged right now. The War Prism is flying to his death. He will survive, but GG gets called. Guitar Cheese 2-0 right now over Justice Simon with an old school push. Yeah, I think, like, if he even wanted to add like a couple bunkers, we would have been straight into early 2019, like those kind of days. I think even earlier, actually, like late 2018 probably. Like that push was so common in this matchup. But yeah, Guitar Cheese match point right now in the semifinals. Justice Simon just a little bit shaky in his play. Well, let's see what is going to happen in the third game for today. It is going to be on Nightshade, and let's see if Guitar Cheese brings it home or if Justice Simon is able to turn it and maybe try and win the series. Here we are. Nightshade in the top left hand corner. The red random player spawning a Zerg. It is Guitar Cheese. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner instead. It is the blue Protoss. Heading for China. 1 point away from elimination in this Code A playoffs. Oh my god, overlay. It is Justice Simon. It's the second time today I forget the overlay. Well, not for long though. Pro streamer Guitar Cheese once again worked once. Why shouldn't it work twice? Start pulling his opponent, and let's see if he is able to actually do it again. Force a big reaction from Justice Simon. The map is a little bit different this time. Ephemeron is quite an easier map to get through. Justice Simon looks like he's having the same reaction. Adding up one gateway, he's gonna probably be adding 780 score as soon as this finishes, instead of just waiting a little bit. I guess this decision is not possibly the worst decision. I guess it's probably just a good decision as any. Most people like to just put a pylon in the wall to have their nexus up a little bit earlier, but the difference in game 1 between the two players wasn't that immense after a certain point. Of course, the cancel Guitar Cheese got on Justice Simon's third base was huge. Well, let's talk about this game. Indeed, not pulling that many probes as he did in game 1. Actually not pulling any probe. He's just waiting for the right time to strike out. One Zealot is done. 2 are out. Backing down at those links. They just have to flee away, get away with all his HPs. Only shield has gone down and only 3 Zerglings survive to tell the tale back home. Justice Simon is adding up his nexus, and this time it looks like the hold was much more convincing. Sorry. I guess Guitar Cheese wants to double expand this time as well. His natural archery is up right now. He's making 2 more links. Actually, he's making a lot more links. And starting link speed right now, not really adding up a third base yet. I'm pretty surprised about it. Like, it worked fine in the other game. Huh. I think he's sending one, but right now there are 2 Adepts and 2 Zealots through the map. That is dangerous. Of course, Guido Cheese had the right choice, making this many lanes, surrounding the Adepts with low Zerglings. And this Queen chasing down the Zealots, waiting for the lanes to come. Recall gets issued by Justice Sam, but he's going not to lose. Dead 1 Zealot. I was able to change what I said just on the round. These Zealots, 3 kills. These other Zealots, 2 kills. But just 1 drone has died this far. Stargate being dropped by Justice Simon. Everything is working a little bit different for the Protoss player. Was looking a little bit stronger right now. He lost those 2 Adepts for free. He got a lot of scouting information though. But there are a lot of things at his doorstep right now. This 1 Adept and 1 Zealot, of course, are gonna be proving enough. But 1 Zealot gets surrounded. That's really bad for Justice Simon right now. Losing 1 Zealot for free. But Guido Cheese just decided to gift all of his Zerglings. 3 Adepts are out for Justice Simon. He doesn't want to stop his aggression. He wants to kill a little bit more drones right now. And who am I not to agree with him right now? He killed a bunch of Zerglings. Even if he doesn't deal any damage with these Adepts, he forced a big round of Zerglings. These Adepts not really get into a comfortable spot. They get surrounded. 2 of them try to escape away. The shade gets used, but all of them just die. And more links are gonna go through the map. There is 1 Oracle. Okay, there is not yet 1 Oracle. There will be 1 Oracle. Here it is. Over here for Justice Simon, just to hold if necessary, if many more links are going to come. But it looks like he's going for the drones. Decisively so. Spore Crawler got added by Guido Cheese. Probably not due to real scouting as much as due to common sense. At this stage, you don't see War Prism, you don't see any kind of attack. You know it's a Stargate play, pretty much. And Guido Cheese knows his Protoss pretty well. Right now, he's also gonna see 1 more Oracle being out, but this looks like it is more of a defensive Oracle. A 3rd one is going to be on the way, and Justice Simon is going to gain immense map control with his triple Oracle play. Getting this third base, of course, very important for Justice Simon, but right now, if you want to tell a good sign, a good tell that a Protoss player is ahead compared to a Zerg player, it's at 6 minutes. The supply of the Protoss player is bigger than the supply of the Zerg player. That is not something that should ever happen as the Zerg player. And right now, Justice Simon, okay, finally the supply is inferior to Guido Cheese, but 56 workers to 47, an explosion of gateways is sure to come with the improvement of economy. Oh, we had a pause. But Justice Simon looking very strong. Map control is Guido Cheese spreading creep as much as he can to gain vision of what can possibly come, since right now those Oracle pretty much control the map. Any more scouting, seeing more roaches walking through the map. Scouting, map control, probably the most important things in any mid-game in StarCraft 2. And that's exactly what Justice Simon is doing right now. He knows what's coming and he reacts with the right unit. 2 ship batteries being dropped at the natural to avoid any possible stronghold in a revelation, to check what's going on the opponent side of the map, and immortal production to help deal with those pesky roaches. Once the time comes, another robotics facility get added. It's going to be 3 robots. Oh my god, this is going to be such a powerful immortal sentry play. A little bit of a delayed soul train, but a soul train indeed. Is going to be so many mortals along with sentries. Those units just destroy roaches. 3 oracles, of course, they back a punch. This is not this is damage that it gets not denied by armor. Hydras are out, and this means that Justice Simon has to be very careful about these oracles. One of them survives, and right now I don't think it was a cancel. I think it was a kill. I actually think it was a kill. Gator Cheese didn't cancel his archery. Justice Simon getting more and more ahead. Yeah, it was a kill, indeed. Uh-oh. This doesn't look good for Gator Cheese right now. 12 more Hydras on the way. Of course, Hydras are pretty good against Immortals. But against these many Immortals, I don't think anything is good against these many Immortals. Like, there is not a single thing in the world that can kill these many Immortals. Like anything that flies. And that's it. They have total ground control. Look at them. Just look at them. Come on. Of course, Gator Cheese is going to be the attacker. There are some Ravagers to help with this fight, but the She-Batters are keeping so many units alive for so long that everything is dealing too much damage. The Immortals are not joining the fight yet. Justice Simon wants to keep his hidden play a little bit. He wants to trigger the Stasis Ward, and he does so. These Stasis did so much. 3 Hydras may look like little, but these Hydras are blocking the passage for the other units that cannot go through there basically. Look at how much ground they cover. This is all ground that the Zerg units could not get past. Gator Cheese goes back home, and right now Justice Simon has shown that he has a million Immortals. Gator Cheese immediately reacts with a Spire of his own, but can he do this? Oh my god, Immortals dying pretty much for free. Justice Simon being a little bit too eager to do damage, but these force fields are all over the place. Ravagers trying to help his units go into the fight, and right now Justice Simon losing everything on every side. He's going to be a GG, and he's going to be Gator Cheese serious. Well, I have another game, so the games were not put in the correct order. But, well, we have another game, so just let's see how this game went. Of course, this is going to be a game the Gator Cheese will not win, but yeah, that's the problem with replays. That's why we ask you guys to rename the replays. Let's get into this one more game of Gator Cheese versus Justice Simon. Even though the series is pretty much over, let's see what has happened in this game. Here we are on Tridon, spawning in the bottom right hand corner is a red Terran player, but random player spawning as Terran. It is Gator Cheese. In the top left hand corner instead is the Chinese blue Protoss. Unfortunately lost this series, eliminated for Alpha X Apprentice, but still, let's see how he did this game. It is Justice Simon. Gonna have one more Gateway Scout. Tridon, huge map. So many things can happen over here. I think that, yeah, okay, of course Gator Cheese tells the races his race before any game. But Justice Simon on this map, even against Terran, there are so many little spots in which you can do some nasty stuff. I don't think Justice Simon is going for a proxy though. I think he's just going for some regular scouting. Maybe try to get a couple hits on an SCV to force an SCV pull, or maybe not even that. Gonna check what's coming, and he's gonna just get away. Maybe try to delay this command center, but I think the Gator Cheese will just drop it nonetheless, even if he has to lift it afterwards. Not the biggest of deals. Still, Gator Cheese can afford to fight a little bit, maybe to get one probe. That will not die though in the end. The Reaper is on the way. Justice Simon has to get his own Adept going to be able to keep the Reaper at bay and not lose any probe, of course. This should be pretty doable on a map as big as Tridon, even if you do some macro mistakes in the early game, which is a thing that to these players just never happens. At this level, there is no way that such a thing could ever happen. And in fact, this Adept will be out just at the right time. The Reaper won't even bother with the Reaper Cliff. Blockable with just 2 buildings. This Adept will try to get on top of the Reaper. This Reaper is risking a lot without getting any significant scouting. The Reaper will go down. And Killer Cheese, it may look like a small deal, but it means that Killer Cheese will not know if Justice Simon mixes up with some weird opener, which is totally possible right now, since Justice Simon has freedom to do whatever he wants, and it looks like he's deciding to go for a proxy pylon very, very close to his opponent's base. And Trident is probably the best map to go for such an aggressive style. This one Adept trying to get a Marine maybe. This Marine will indeed die. 2 more Marines are spawning, but the bunker is the most important part, and the bunker will not finish actually. 1 more SCV needs to get pulled, but 2 Marines will probably die before the bunker is done. Already some damage from Justice Simon. This Widowmine is going to be very nasty right now. The Widowmine shot goes on the Sulker and gets both Justice Simon's units on the side of the map of Killer Cheese. Gate is done. Justice Simon can put his feet on the throttle to get more and more aggression. Robotics facility gets added as well. Warp Prism, Immortals, Observers, all very useful units for Wood. Justice Simon is about to do this. Medivac is going to send a couple Widowmines through the map. Justice Simon knows there are some Widowmines, of course, prone to be into his base, but he also knows that the only possible reaction to Widowmines is just reflexes more than anything else, and the bunker is down. Justice Simon is pulling up on the aggression. A lot of Stalkers were at either Chief's doorstep. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Widowmines are burrowing uncontested, killing 8 probes in a blink of an eye. And talking about blink, those Stalkers don't have it, but they surely don't die just like they do. Many SCVs are falling left and right. The tank unsieged has so much DPS as well, but now 4 more Adepts are joining the battle. The bull is down, and it looks like those Adepts and Stalkers are just gonna walk into Killer Cheese base. A little bit of a mistake over here by the Terran player, who's going to be so behind in workers. And that's gonna be a very big deal to the economy of the Terran player. Meanwhile, Justice Simon, 35 workers, he doesn't even care about army. He lost a little bit over here to these Widowmines. Another 2 probes have gone down overall. Killer Cheese being proactive with this Widowmine drop, of course, very important thing. But overall, it looks like Justice Simon is going to be vastly ahead in this game. Widowmines burrowing again, not really in time. I don't think the Medivac will save it. Widowmine goes down. Medivac goes down as well. Justice Simon didn't lose any more probes. And now he's going to ravage in his opponent's base. Everything is working against Justice Simon, against Killer Cheese right now. And Justice Simon is also going to complete 1 shade into the main of Killer Cheese. Shaki for some very wounded SCVs. Not gonna find any even if there are 2. But overall, Justice Simon, relentless aggression, a cool proxy in the middle of the map. And Killer Cheese instead not really able to make any senseful army composition. This one Raven gonna add an auto turret to the battle, but this one auto turret will not be enough to clear the whole army. The tanks are helping a lot, but one more warping of zealots. Oh, if only those zealots had charge. They're still pretty fast. They still are going to get on top of the tanks. 4 of them are out right now with a warp prism to micro units forward. Things could get rough for Gita Cheese, but a quick pull of SCVs keep the Terran alive for a little longer. I don't know for how much he will still alive. Of course, 4 tanks, very hard to break through, especially with 3 bunkers going up right now. Actually 5 tanks, but the warp prism could just send units into the main right now. It looks like Justice Simon has the number of his opponent right now. 1 Immortal and 2 Zealots, soon to be into the main of Killer Cheese. And maybe the Warp Prism will also add more units once the tanks are unsieged. It's all the turn of the rest of the army to get inside and deal the rest of the damage. Immortal and Zealot inside the mineral line. Units don't get pulled yet from the natural by Killer Cheese, who decided to go for a Raven for a reason. And this reason is this interference matrix over there, forcing Justice Simon to lose 1 Immortal basically for free. And that was his only Immortal as well. The second one is almost done. It is done right now. And a lot of units are back home. I don't think he has charge though. No, he doesn't. I don't think he has a Twilight Console. Yes, he does. And finally he starts charge. Caster cursing Justice Simon as well. But this Warp Prism being so nasty right now. Justice Simon is ramping up his numbers right now. 4 more gateways being added by the Blue Protoss. This game is going heavily in his favor by the minute. Kirachi's finally managed to have more workers than his opponent. Mules gonna help a ton as well. But is it going to be enough even with that many defensive units? These are just a lot of zealots. Once charge is done, Justice Simon will shortly walk through the map. Right now Kirachi knows charge is not done yet. He's going to feel safe for a little bit, build up the stuff he needs, at least for a little while longer. I don't think he's going to pull forward for the time being. On the contrary, Justice Simon, his army is pretty much immense right now. 26 Zealots, 2 Immortals, 8 Stalkers, 1 Sentry, 1 Warp Prism. This is a powerful army. This is a powerful Protoss army. That's just that. The tanks are alone, very exposed. They're gonna deal so much damage, of course. Not even need charge with these many Zealots. Wastes a charge on top of the command center. Bagheera Cheese caught with his pants down, with his army so out of position. Charge is through again. Medivacs are not enough to keep all these Marines alive. Everything is going awry. Bagheera Cheese is going to call the GG in a matter of seconds. Justice Simon pushing for the ramp of the natural, and GG gets called indeed. This is the story of how Justice Simon won the 1 game in this series after the replays were put in the wrong order. So once again, even with this victory, Justice Simon is still going to be eliminated from Alpha X Apprentice. The bracket is through. I'm gonna show it to you in just a second. Here it is. And it looks like Kirachi is going to advance into Code A Finals to face Nick won over Damru. Damru forced to give a walkover. Nick, if I remember correctly. Or maybe not. Or maybe not yet. I think it was a walkover over here. I think he still is going to play this game. Anyway, Kirachi is going to play the victor between Nick and Damrud. Meanwhile, guys, Code S is shortly to come as well. We have June Wooden Microbe, Jax Exer Striker, and then in the semi-finals the two French players destroying the competition in their groups, already both in the semifinals. It is indeed Alpha X Baguette this season, because those two guys are just unstoppable right now, and it's gonna be the turn of either June and Wooden Microbe to put down Out of Fire, and either Jax or Exo Striker to put down Firefox instead. So guys, once again, this has been everything for today's Alpha X Apprentice. We are going to have more action in the next few days. So thank you everybody for tuning in. See you probably probably on Friday for some more StarCraft 2 action. Once again, thank you for joining. Thanks to the players. Congrats to Guitar Cheese for reaching finals in Code A. And I'll see you next stream, guys. Thank you very much.